All right, folks, we are wrapping up practice for the Costa FLW Series Championship. It's on Lake Guntersville. I've got Jeremy Lawyer with me. Jeremy, I guess, first of all, have you ever been to Guntersville in the fall?
No, not in the fall. I fished a tour event here, my very first one, in 17 in the spring, and it wasn't any better then, So I'm starting to think a little bit about Guntersville, but now, it's fall and it's fishing.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, when you do hit this place right, it's really good.
That's what everybody says.
It does exist.
Yes, in biggins, but
yeah,
apparently we're just not hitting it right.
So I guess you've been out here for a few days now.
Yeah.
What's like the lay of the land as far as watercolor, the state of the grass? I mean, it's the fall, it should be what's going on, right?
There's a lot of different grass. There's a lot of different kinds of grass. The water clarity, you can get from gin clear bathtub water to kind of dirty on the main river. It really looks dirty, but it's clear like when you throw something down in it. And
so once you get up to it, you can see the grass, you can drop down.
Yeah, but the grass is real brown. I don't know if it's because it's dying some, plus it's got all the filter and sediment on it. So there's a lot of different stages of grass and things going on, and that's probably what's making fishing a little bit tougher.
Okay. How about, like those nice frog and cheese mats? Can you find those pretty easily, or do you have to search them out, and when you search them out, are there a lot of other people on them?
Well, yeah, both. I feel like that the few that I found that I thought was real good, we didn't catch anything. There was other people there. We never saw anybody catch anything, but you could hear a lot of life and things going on that typically is what you want, but we just haven't found anything to go like that. But I'm sure that the locals and the boys that are Grass Lake, Southern driven, are going to know specifically what to target, the exact cast. They're still going to catch on that way.
Yeah, I mean, you're an Ozarks guy coming off the win at the Lake of the Ozarks, but there's not a whole lot of grass in the Ozarks.
No, and really, I love to go fish grass. Anytime I go, I welcome it. But it's just kind of different right now. The lake doesn't have a ton of grass everywhere. It's got a lot of grass. It's not that hard to find, but I think there's a lot of unproductive grass, and then not really knowing exactly what you're looking for to start with kind of makes it a tough thing from the start.
Yeah, that's fair. So you've been here some time now. What's your kind of vibe on what it'll take, whether it's a cut weight or even a winning weight? What do you think you're going to need?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to base it off my fishing and what it's been the last 4 days for me. I'm going to say, if you can catch 14 a day, that'd be pretty decent, pretty strong. Like a cut weight would be 28, Okay. Now they may absolutely smash their heads in and prove me completely wrong, but it just seems like I'm just basing that off what I've caught. We've only had one good fish in 4 days. It seems like you can catch a few keepers. The first 2 days I pretty well accomplished nothing. I might as well stayed home and split wood. The last couple of days I managed to catch a few, but even when we have caught some keepers, they haven't been that big. So it's Guntersville, it's got a minute. They're going to catch them still, but I'm going to say that weight right there based off my practice.
All right. My last question. Last time we had a fall tournament on Lake Guntersville, I'm pretty sure the Alabama rig was invented. Well, maybe not invented,
yes,
but it made an appearance.
Brought to life.
Odds on that happening this week. Not a new Alabama rig, but do you think that's going to play?
It's definitely going to play. Any place we go in the fall, all over the country, it plays. This lake's no different, and it was started here just like you said. So, no doubt I'm going to have one on my deck. There's a ton of people throwing them, and it just catches fish all over the country. So, yeah, but I don't think you're going to see the enormous weights on it just for the fact that the weather just hasn't really gotten cool. It's kind of jumped back and forth, and that's kind of messing things up. And a lot of the grass is standing up like the lake has come up some too, and so it's just got a lot going on right now. So I don't think you'll see it dominate, but it'll definitely play.
All right. Well, Jeremy, thanks for taking the time.
All right, appreciate it, Jody. Thank you.
Okay, next man up, Cody Murray from Idaho. How long did it take you to get here?
Took me right about 33 hours to get here. Had to make a couple stops, and made a stop at the Triton factory for an open house, and had a good time there.
All right, that's in Arkansas. So what do you drive through when you're going through the Rockies and the West? Do you drive down and then come across Arizona? Do you just go right through the middle?
Yeah, I kind of go right through the middle. So I end up coming out of Idaho, basically right into Colorado, then through Kansas, and it took me down through Missouri this time for my little detour, and then
it's just nothing. Then you're basically here.
Yeah, you're real close. It was like a log first 24 hours or so, and then a short last 9 hours.
Alrighty. I assume this is your first time on Guntersville. How do you like it so far?
It is my first time on Guntersville. You know, I practiced in the low end, and it kind of reminds me of Clear Lake, the way it sets up.
It's got a lot of grass. It's got, you know, Clear Lake actually doesn't have that clear of water, you know?
Right. I noticed, you know, the water clarity is actually really close to the same, it seems like. You've got fish pushing bait around in the shallow water. You got some, you know, long tapering points and some ledges.
Yep.
Quite a bit of rock out there once you get outside the grass. So that's kind of how I made my approach to practicing here.
Okay, I like that. I don't want to, hey, I've caught him this way, but how's your practice gone?
Practice has been, I guess, consistently up and down.
All right.
You know,
that's good you've had some ups.
Yeah, there's been a couple ups, and then you think you're chasing that, and you can chase it for 4 hours and come up empty-handed.
Okay.
Or, you know, sometimes you can jump from one area to another that looks relatively the same and you can catch them. So for me, it's just been fishing a lot of water, just covering as much water as I can. It seems like if they're there, they will bite sometimes, but it's just really
not everywhere.
They're definitely not everywhere.
Have you graphed around very much at all? I know we're on the Tennessee River. You think about ledges when you're here, and you know, I'm sure you got good units on your boat. Like, have you gone out and looked, or have you mostly just fished?
I've spent a fair amount of time on my graphs. Not a whole lot of idling. You know, I'll idle a few spots and then you know, yes or no. But I've seen a lot of fish on the graph. It seems like a lot of times when you're marking those, I haven't been out here enough to decipher what I'm seeing necessarily, and so I've definitely metered a lot of white bass, and I've ended up catching those guys.
All right, I like that. My other question is, being your first time here, you probably, like, Guntersville's a huge lake. Clear Lake is like a tiny lake compared to Guntersville. Did you say I'm going to look at the whole lake, or do you say I'm going to look at this chunk of the lake?
You know, I did look at the whole lake. I ran all the way to the dam on my second day of practice.
Gosh.
And being from Idaho, I'm a smallmouth guy.
The dam being Nickajack.
Being Nickajack, yeah.
Tennessee, okay.
So I ran, you know, I looked at the map, I'm like, oh man, this is Tennessee. I had to get online real quick and buy a license.
Nice.
And I did that, and I ran there. And these smallmouth fish a lot different than the smallmouth I fish for at home.
No kidding.
Yeah, so that was kind of a little bit fruitless, I'll say.
All right.
But I gave
there.
it a shot, so.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you saw new parts of the country. You know, you got to go all the way up to the Nickajack Dam here, you know, the lower end, the other dam's like right there. That's not that far, so
right.
I'm sure you saw it.
I did, and that was kind of my plan, was to, you know, maybe go one end or another. Yep. And it's up in the air for me. I honestly will have to decide probably tomorrow, or maybe on Thursday morning at takeoff, where I'm going to end up.
All right. I asked a lawyer this when we were talking, but you've been out here a few days. What's your vibe on, I don't even want to say winning weight, but what's going to be a good bag here? Because I think consistency will be really important.
Man, I think you're right. I can say without question, if I fished my stuff and I caught 15 pounds,
yep,
I think I'd pack it in for the day, maybe try and start practicing again.
All right, all right.
You know, the quality bites, and I'm going to say quality, in my opinion, being that 3 pound mark, have been extremely tough to find for myself. You know, you can find some spotted bass, different areas, and there's some quality to them. I found some that were quality.
Yeah.
Maybe not that 3 pound mark, but maybe 2 1/4, 2 1/2.
Like not a bad limit filler at all.
Right. So if, you know, maybe if a guy could get 3 or 4 largemouth, you know, that were in the 3 to 4 pound range and fill it out, I think you'd still be holding steady there.
Okay, I like it. Well, I like that you found some spotted bass. You know, you're fishing out of Cody Meyer's old boat, so you probably will catch like a 9 or 10 pound spotted bass this week, I'd say.
You know, I fished with him 3 weeks ago, and he did catch one that was a big one.
Of course he did.
And I can tell you what, we were in that boat, and I don't think it's the boat, I think it's the guy. But
look, have faith in yourself, have faith in the boat. You can do this.
You know, I'd take an 8 or 9 pound largemouth, and obviously there's a possibility of that this week. So I'm hoping that it does carry over, and you know, I'm sure somebody will get, you know, fortunate out there, crack a big bag, or maybe one of the locals knows exactly where they're at. I don't know. I sure haven't found that. But
Alrighty. Well, Cody, thanks for stopping by. Good luck out there.
Appreciate it.